Process inquiry is a verbal approach developed 20 years ago. It was developed under the roof of life energy process, what also works with different forms like dance, like theater, like yoga, and like work in organizations. Today we have the chance to have an interview with Stèphano Sabetti, who is the founder of Process Inquiry and of Life Energy Process. Okay, Stèphano, you developed a verbal approach called Process Inquiry.
Yeah.
Could you say some words about it, what it is?
Yeah, you know, back in the old days, I was looking very much to find some way of communicating with people, therapeutic sense, but also in organizations.
Mm-hmm.
And it struck me that two important words were process and inquiry. For me, process means movement, and I found that most things could be seen as movements, even organizations, cash flow, communication, and so the process became a very important focus. The inquiry itself means to go into the process. What does it mean? Where's it going? And to find out where is it getting blocked in some way. So both process and inquiry became very important.
Mm-hmm. So when I hear this, it's a lot about this movement, for example,
Yeah.
and process and so on. But I wonder, especially in organizations, for example, you mentioned that,
Yeah.
they were often also looking for content. What is about the content and communication, for example? They're coming with contents,
Yeah.
they want solutions. How does it fit together?
Well, you know, generally organizations, as you will know, often see things in terms of problems. A problem becomes a content, that is, we begin to work with something. Process is a little frightening for them.
Yeah.
And we found over the years that every content, let's say for example, a communication problem in the company, is in fact a process problem. It's two people, for example, who can't communicate. There's no communication, that is not coming together, but that's not a content as we usually think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we found a way to take all contents, even in companies, like I say, money, problems, and so forth, markets, because a market, as you also know, is not a fixed thing, it's a movement which keeps changing and so forth. And so the process focus takes all content and translates it into movement, which makes it easier to deal with.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And you call this approach also, process inquiry, as the art of essential communication.
Yeah.
Different issue about that. What does it mean?
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of approaches on the market already.
Exactly, yeah.
What is the difference in that?
Well, like I say, to begin with, the communication means it's got to be something that moves together. Let's say you and I speaking, and we don't really understand each other. We're not really communicating.
Okay.
Yeah? I'm trying, maybe you're trying, but we're going on different levels. So real communication means we have to understand the level of resonation where you and I meet. This means you or I or both may have to adjust somewhat that process. It's not simply physically, for example, active listening, but it means more getting to the point, what is it you're really saying, that I can respond to you more clearly instead of reacting to you or withdrawing. I don't get it, and I fade away. But it's an art. So part of our work together in training is to understand, first of all, the dynamics of it, the physics of movement together, but even more importantly is the art. How can you and I adjust that level to feel where communication is taking place, and how to adjust that if necessary. For example, in mediation, in family relationships, there's many implications about how to adjust resonation and the art of doing that.
Mm-hmm. And when you say resonation, it's again something about the energy in it.
Exactly, yeah.
How does this, what is this energy perspective in this?
Well, we realize that as we're even speaking a charge, let's say I speak to you in a very low voice, or a very deep voice even, it's all affecting how you may respond to it. If I begin to move up in the voice, then you may respond very differently. As I move down in the voice, another point of contact we have together. So energy means the amount, it means the kind of frequency, quality of the movement, to always keep adjusting to that feeling. We know in communication companies that very often talk about content is loaded, charged with feelings that are not coming out. Let's say I feel angry about you for a certain something you've done.
Yes,
It could happen,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And we're talking about something else. I don't want to listen to what you're saying, the content. I'm involved in my anger towards you.
That's right, yeah. But then it's a question also, also in these kind of communications, you very often, especially when it's about feelings,
Yeah.
You come to avoidances. People don't want to talk about it. They try to somehow, make it more as a practical thing, or have discussions about it and so on. How do you handle these avoidances in process inquiry?
Well, the key thing about avoidance often is a fear. And we found over the years that there's often a way to confront someone with an issue that often creates a resistance. We're attacking a defense mechanism. That's not real useful. And we found a couple things to do. One is a minimal intervention. That is, what can you and I do, and my intervention as little as possible is going to help our communication. That's the first thing. The second thing is what we call tangential intervention. That is, I'm always looking in our communication for a way and a point of resonation where you and I can communicate. That is, if I need to listen to you a little longer before I make a statement or intervention, that's what I do. If I feel you're going away, for example, and need to intervene more quickly, otherwise we get lost, that's what I do. So really walking a mile, we say, with someone to get a feeling of their movement as I'm pointing my hand here, and then finding the point of resonation. We're back to the art of it, really, of when to come in with feeling, which minimizes the resistance.